Besides JVZoo, there are a number of other affiliate networks that you could potentially use to promote digital products as an affiliate. One of these affiliate networks is called ClickBank. Now, I used to use ClickBank fairly heavily a number of years ago. I'm not a huge user of it these days anymore. However, it's really because I've just kind of changed gears with what type of niches and products I'm trying to target. There are simply different kinds of products on ClickBank than there are on the JVZoo network. So if you're more looking for internet marketing type of products, JVZoo, Warrior Plus would be the place to go for that. If you're looking for stuff outside of the internet marketing niche though, things in niches that would apply to everyday people like weight loss or fitness or self-help courses, that kind of stuff will generally be found on the ClickBank network. So with that said, I want to take a little time today to show you how the ClickBank network works, how you utilize it as an affiliate, and most importantly, I want to teach you at least a little bit about this network in terms of how it works for affiliates, because some of the fine details that are easy to overlook in the beginning, they can actually become pretty important for you later on. So it's important to have this knowledge ahead of time to really be able to do your best on this network. To begin with, I want to talk about simply signing up to the ClickBank network and ultimately how you go about getting paid for promotions that you make on these products. Then I'm going to dive a little into talk about quality control of your promotions. This is something that's really important on the ClickBank network. And then finally, we're going to end this lesson with talking about finding the products that you're going to promote and generating the affiliate links for them. These are called hop links on the ClickBank network. So to start, we're going to get into how to actually join ClickBank and talk about at least a few of the important things as far as you being an affiliate on this network is concerned. Promotion methods that are allowed, and how the commission and payout system essentially works on this network. So to begin with, if you do not have an account already and you would like to create one, all you have to do is go to clickbank.com, click on Create Account up at the top, and you will get to the page you see on my screen here. Just fill in your personal information to be able to create your account. This nickname that you're choosing, this is going to be your login name that you use for this network. You're not going to be able to change it once you select it, so please be careful in setting this up. The payee name is essentially where you're going to get your checks mailed to. However, once you have your account set up and you can go into your account settings, you can set up options for payment via other methods, such as they do direct deposit to your checking account. And something like a direct deposit option, when you have that configured on your account, you can actually get paid once a week on this network as opposed to once every 2 weeks. Now, a lot of times people skip over these little legal client contracts that are included with pretty much creating an account on any type of a website these days. However, buried within this information here, you'll find a couple of paragraphs that are talking about promotion methods that are actually either allowed or not allowed on this particular network. And this is something that's really important to remember going forward, because there are sometimes marketing products that may teach you to use certain methods to generate traffic, when in fact some of those methods might get you in trouble on the ClickBank network. One specific thing worth mentioning is text messaging. Text messaging and also telemarketing. I wouldn't really expect a lot of people to be trying telemarketing these days, but there has been recent software released that allows people to advertise, build a customer list essentially through text messages. This type of a system would not be allowed on the ClickBank network. And chances are, if you live in the USA, you probably don't want to be bothering with things like telemarketing and text messaging. There are all of these laws that you simply have to strictly follow to be able to do this kind of stuff. And it's really just not worth the effort. The things that you can do is the same kind of stuff you can pretty much do on other networks. Email marketing, setting up your own website, doing things like social media accounts to generate traffic. All that kind of stuff is fine. Just specifically avoid text messaging and telemarketing. Now finally here, I would like to talk to you about the commissions on the ClickBank network, and kind of an extension of that, how you actually get paid, or what the terms and conditions are behind getting paid on this network. This is something that's actually different from the way a lot of other networks work, especially the JVZoo network. So if you're expecting the same type of thing that you see on JVZoo, where you promote a product, you refer a sale on it, and you instantly get that sale to your PayPal account, that's not going to be happening on the ClickBank network. What ClickBank does is they actually will pay you once every 2 weeks. However, to get paid every 2 weeks, you have to meet certain conditions. One of these being that you have to meet the payment threshold. That's a setting that you can alter in your own account. You can set it as low as $10. So that part's not really that big of a deal. That basically just means you have to earn that minimum amount that you set for your account for each pay period, the pay period being that 2-week time period, in order to be able to get a payment sent to you. Now, the reason why you would possibly want to have a higher payment threshold set up is because when ClickBank issues a payment to you, they charge you a fee of $2.50. I'm not really a fan of that particular fee. That was always kind of one of my biggest qualms with them. It's not that it's a very large fee, but they're already making their money off of the vendor sales of these products. There's really, in my opinion, not a major reason why they should have to charge to pay you the money that you have earned. However, $2.50 in the long run, considering that's only going to be every 2 weeks, it's not that big of a deal when you simply add those numbers up. Now, if you provide them with ways to pay you besides sending you a check, something like direct deposit, you may be able to actually start getting paid once a week. However, you have to essentially establish some credibility with them, or potentially just simply be within certain countries. Like I believe USA residents may be able to right off the bat start requesting a direct deposit, in which case they would get paid once a week instead of once every 2 weeks. The same rules would still apply though. You still have that payment threshold and you still have the $2.50 fee for each payment that gets issued. Now on top of that, there is another rule that they have that says you have to have at least 5 sales using at least 2 different payment methods to be able to get paid. I believe this is just for the first payment that would be issued to your account. That simply means that you're not going to be able to use this as a way to purchase products for yourself. That's what this rule is kind of set up for. It ensures that you're actually selling this product to real people. Now sometimes it can take more than 5 sales for people to actually use those 2 separate payment methods when they are purchasing something from you. However, I recall that stipulation on the account really early on when I first got started, and it really was not that difficult to break through that barrier and to be able to start earning payments from this network. So with that said, it's fairly minor stuff there. They're the little ins and outs of this system, but it's also important to really understand how all this works, because you might be expecting to get paid one amount and you end up getting paid, slightly less than that. Or you might be expecting payments that are more frequent than they might be sending you. Just for example, their pay periods, it's either a 1 or a 2-week pay period, depending on whether you have that direct deposit set up on your account or not. If you do have direct deposit, it's 1 week, otherwise it's 2 weeks. So when they pay you, the pay periods end on Wednesday of every week. But they're not actually going to pay you until about 2 weeks after the end of a pay period. So for the average user, a new user especially, you're going to have a pay period running roughly 2 weeks. It just kind of depends on when you create your account within that pay period. So any earnings that you make during that initial roughly 2 weeks or so will be paid to you 2 weeks after the end of that. So from the very beginning of creating your account until you actually see that first payment, you could potentially be waiting as long as 4 weeks. And that's assuming that you are generating some sales in your initial 2-week time with this network. So just simply keep that in mind, that it could be about a month before you actually get payments into your pocket from work and earnings that you have been able to accumulate on this network. Another thing worth talking about is the actual commissions and how they are calculated on this network. This works different on each network, and so it's important to understand how this works here. If you were to refer a sale on basically a $30 product, you're going to lose $1 straight off the top of that purchase price, plus an additional 7.5% of that purchase price. This 7.5% plus $1 for that $30 purchase comes out to about $3.25. That amount that it gets removed straight off the top is the ClickBank fee that they are charging the vendor for selling that product. So as an affiliate, you do not earn a portion of that piece of the sale. And that's really important to remember, because you might be wondering, if somebody's offering 50% on a $30 product and you refer a sale, you might be wondering why you didn't get a full $15, why you end up with maybe $1.50 less than that. This is the reason why. They subtract that fee off the top to get a net sale amount, and then you get your commission percentage based on that amount. So if you were earning 50% of that amount, you'd get $13.35 of that $26.70 sale. For this reason, as an affiliate, your earnings will be at least slightly less than what you might initially expect for them to be. Another thing worth pointing out, if you are thinking about going after some high-priced products on the ClickBank network, consider that your commission cannot be more than $150 on a single sale. So if you're promoting a $300 product with a 50% commission, you could get that $150 commission on it. But really anything much higher than that, it would kind of cap the maximum amount that you could earn on a single commission. So in that regard, it's not really that worth going after the crazy high price products. You don't really want to go for anything above roughly $300 or so. Unless the commission percentage was going to be less than 50%, then you could consider it, just simply because the earning amount would still be under $150. 30% of, say, a $450 sale would still be about $150. So it would really just kind of depend on the commission percentage. Now, one final thing worth mentioning before I move on from all this is that ClickBank has kind of an inactivity clause. I don't believe it's on this particular page that I'm viewing right now. However, this inactivity clause basically states that if you do not earn anything into your ClickBank account in a period of 90 days, they will start deducting fees from your account for being inactive. Those fees begin at $1 per payment period. So every 2 weeks you would get $1 removed from your account if you had not referred sales in 90 days or more. As that time period increases up to 180 days, the fee then increases more. I think it's $5 per payment period after 6 months of inactivity. And then after a year of inactivity, it skyrockets up to something like $50 per payment period. So with that said, it's important not to set your payment threshold too high, because you don't want to end up with earnings that simply just end up sitting on this website. One way or another, though, you usually do end up losing some of your earnings to ClickBank in one way or another, from their payment fees, from their inactivity fees, or even from another fee that they have called a return allowance. Now, a return allowance is something that occurs when you refer any kind of a sale on this network. Whenever you get a payment into your ClickBank account, 10% of that amount gets held for a 12-week time period, and then it will get credited back to your account. So that ultimately means that 10% of all of your earnings on ClickBank are going to get withheld from you actually getting paid that money for a period of about 90 days or so. That simply means that, again, the earnings that you are expecting to get paid will end up being less in that regard. It can kind of reach a point, if you are active all the time on ClickBank and referring sales on a regular basis on this network, that return allowance eventually you really don't even notice it, because once you've been doing 12 weeks worth of sales, then your new sales do have that 10% removed from it, but then you're starting to get that 10% from earlier purchases put back into your account. So they kind of offset each other after a while. The reason why ClickBank does this is to protect themselves from refunds and chargebacks. That's kind of like a little fund that they keep available for themselves to cover those refunds and those chargebacks. If that kind of stuff does happen, they'll remove your affiliate commission from your account. But if you don't have any earnings to remove it from, that return allowance is always there to cover it. So there are a lot of little ins and outs to consider here with ClickBank in terms of how the payouts work and how the commissions are actually calculated. That's one of the things that personally I'm not a big fan of about ClickBank. I never was a very big fan of it. I wrote them numerous times years ago, back when I was more active with the network, trying to see, if there was any way that they could essentially alleviate some of those requirements, especially for a more established account. And they just really couldn't work with me at all on it. Maybe they have changed their policies now to where if you were to start generating a fair amount of sales, maybe you could contact them and get some of those requirements or fees reduced on you a little bit. But I can't guarantee something like that, because I personally was not able to succeed with that when I tried. So the next thing I want to talk about here is quality control. This is something that I've always emphasized to my students when they're doing affiliate promotions of any kind. Don't expect to do really fast, low amounts of work, essentially taking the lazy way out, and expect to make a lot of money from it. Your earnings will fairly directly relate to how much effort you put into this, into how much care you put into your promotions, whether the products you are recommending to people are actually right for them, whether these products are going to help people or even harm their business. Not only will these higher quality promos give you simply better results in terms of your conversion rates and ultimately how much money you can end up making, but on the ClickBank network, this kind of stuff can actually end up affecting your account itself. It's really, really important that you maintain low refund and also low chargeback rates. Now again, I mentioned that I'm not active on ClickBank anymore these days. However, I can still show you my account just so you can see the type of information that ClickBank is going to be tracking when it comes to the sales that you refer. Now typically, this kind of stuff is something that the vendors of products will generally focus on a lot more so than affiliates. Sometimes affiliates really don't care what the things like refund and chargeback rates are on their promotions. But on ClickBank, this information is tracked whether you are a vendor or an affiliate. So it's important that you keep this kind of stuff in mind when you're creating your promotions that you put together. The promotions that you put together, it can work the same way that I teach to put together a JVZoo promotion. You get the product, if you can, you try it out for yourself, you put together a review of it, you create some kind of a bonus offer to go along with it, and you offer that as a bonus for people purchasing through your link. All that stuff still works the same. But if you refer a sale and the person that bought it doesn't like it and they get a refund on that purchase, it's going to show up in your account under the current period refund rates. And you can even see like the previous period where it'll show you like the last month or so. It's really, really important down here in these percentages especially, you want to see your refund amounts at under 15%. And you want to see your chargeback amounts at under 1%. So whether you're a vendor or an affiliate, any sales that go through your account, they will be tracked by this system. If you top a 15% refund rate as an affiliate and you don't make steps to try to reduce that rate, ClickBank can start imposing additional penalties upon you, or they may even decide to close down your account entirely. The same thing goes with the chargeback rates being above 1%. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where your chargeback or your refund rates are higher than those levels, reach out and contact ClickBank and let them know what you're doing. Ask them for advice in how to correct the problem and how to lower those rates with the promotions that you have. So you can actually share, the actual promotions with them that you have been using that have incurred these higher refund rates. And they'll actually make some suggestions to you on steps that you can take to try to correct that. The most important reason, though, why you would want to contact them in that kind of a situation is so they can see that you are trying to make an effort to correct it. That will help to prevent them from imposing some of those additional penalties upon you. Now, typically, as a vendor, when you have a chargeback against you, you incur additional fees. However, as an affiliate, even though these percentages and the chargebacks are actually going to get tracked, you're not actually going to get charged those additional fees, but they will closely monitor your chargeback levels. If you're referring more than, again, 1% chargebacks, then they can potentially shut down your entire account, because ultimately, anytime you have a chargeback go through on your account, you're really costing the vendor a lot of money. Not only do they lose the money from the sale, a refund is not that big of a deal for a vendor. Those are expected to a certain extent. A certain number of people that buy a product simply aren't going to be happy with it and they end up refunding it. That's fine. The vendor gives back the portion of their sale that they earned, and the affiliate gives back their portion. With a chargeback, though, you have the refund still taking place, but then the network, ClickBank, assesses an additional fee against the vendor, and those fees can be anywhere from $29 upwards to $49 per chargeback. So the vendor not only loses the money from the sale, but then they get charged these additional fees on top of the sale, to the point where a vendor with a high chargeback rate can actually end up losing money. They might have to pay money just for making sales, even if they ended up with some sales that didn't get refunded or charged back. That chargeback can eat into the profits from the other good sales that you have. So Avoiding refunds, avoiding chargebacks is really, really important. How you can help to accomplish that kind of stuff with your promotions is by being straightforward and honest with people, putting high quality promotions out there. When you recommend a product to somebody, you don't want to recommend it to them just to try to earn some money for yourself, to try to, refer these sales. You want to recommend the product because it's a good choice for those people, because it's going to help them in some way. You also want to be straightforward about what the actual product is. I've seen a lot of promotions and sales pages before where they talk about all the benefits of a product, but they never actually tell you what the product is. Sometimes you don't even know if you're getting a training course or software when, you're purchasing something like that. So simply clearing up the lines of communication there with your promotions, making them more transparent for your customers, that can go a really, really long way in keeping those refund rates down. In fact, with a high quality promotion, you should be able to keep your refund rates right around the 5 to 8% level, and likely have chargeback rates that are 0.5% or even lower than that. So you should be able to stay pretty far away from those upper limits of 15% refunds and 1% chargebacks. So you really won't even have to worry about it as long as you are putting forth this extra effort. The additional chargeback fees that I talked about, you can find those detailed, and all the stuff talking about the max refund rates of 15%, and the steps or the penalties. They talk about additional fees that may be incurred if you are exceeding these rates. Sometimes it just mentions vendors specifically. Sometimes it talks about vendor and affiliate accounts for a number of these things. So it's still, no matter what you're doing on this network, it's still important to pay attention to this stuff. Even if you're not going to be the one that gets assessed the fee for something like a chargeback, which you won't have to worry about as an affiliate, it can still harm your affiliate account nonetheless. Now, the last thing I want to talk about on this class is about ClickBank products and getting your affiliate link and actually tracking your promotion. On the ClickBank network, an affiliate link is called a hop link. That's something that can be a little bit confusing, at least at first, when you come on this network and you're looking for, your affiliate link to promote. I've kind of gone through a little bit for you guys in the past on how to actually go through and find your products in the ClickBank Marketplace. The ClickBank Marketplace you can access from the top of the website at any time, just clicking on the Marketplace link. You'll get to what you see here on my screen, and then you have all of these different categories and a lot of times even subcategories that you can explore to try to find products that you want. Your number one focus should always be to try to find products that are right for your customers, for your audience. However, in addition to that, it can also be really helpful to see that the product you are considering promoting actually has a good chance of selling. And one of the best ways to prove that is simply with existing sales stats. Anytime you look at a product here You can see what the amount is for the sale of that product. $23 is what this product sells for. And you can see how much the affiliate commission is that they're offering to pay out. But beyond that, though, it can kind of be hard to tell, what actually is good, what's selling, and what isn't selling. Unfortunately, they don't give you detailed stats on these products like they do on a lot of other affiliate networks, which is something that I had always wished that they would add. All they really give you is this gravity number here. The gravity number is essentially an indication of how many sales are taking place on this product through unique affiliates. Also, each time a unique affiliate refers a sale on a product, the gravity goes up. And then slowly over time, the gravity will retreat back downward. So the higher gravity products means that not only is the product selling, but the product is also being sold by a number of other affiliates. So in some ways, a high gravity is a good indication that a product is getting a lot of sales, but sometimes it can also be an indication that the market is a little bit flooded with affiliates on that product. So consider whether that is indeed the best product that you want to be promoting, or see if you could find something really similar to it on this network that maybe just simply hasn't gotten as much exposure. If you're seeing lower gravity numbers, just for example, a gravity of 50, or even lower than that, a gravity of 5 or 10, it's still an indication that sales are taking place on the product, and so it could very well be a decent product to promote. Ultimately, though, you don't get to know, what the conversion rate is. How much money are people making per click on this product? Are there any upsells on the product? Things of that nature are unfortunately not made very clear on this network. And honestly, they don't give you any way of being able to dig into stats on this type of information. So with that said, you have to use your best judgment based on the stats that are available. You can roughly calculate how much you might be earning per sale on some of these products. Take a look at the products themselves, though. Investigate affiliate pages if they are available. A lot of times these affiliate pages that are sometimes referred to in the descriptions will give you a lot more information about the product than you could ever hope to find here. Also investigate the sales page for these products. See if it's a sales page that you are comfortable with sending your audience to. Some of these sales pages are super rich on, the marketing tactics and can honestly be kind of annoying for website visitors to even go to. So just simply take a look ahead of time and see what these products are. How will people perceive you for recommending these products to them? Ultimately, once you have found the product that you are going for, or one that you want to try to promote, you simply click on this promote button next to it, and it's going to pop up this additional window. In this additional window, you have a place for your account nickname. This is going to be your affiliate ID on the ClickBank network. That's whatever you're using to log in with. If you want to create multiple links for one single product and to track the results of them separately, say for example, If you have a social media audience, but then you also have an email newsletter list, and you want to promote the product to both of them, but you want to see how it performs separately, you simply create an affiliate link twice and use a different tracking ID each of those times. That way, when you are going back and looking at the stats for that promotion, you'll easily be able to differentiate, how those have performed individually. So once you're ready to generate one of these links, just click on this Create button, and this is going to create the code for you. This is the actual URL that you want to send traffic to. So this is your affiliate link. If you want to put this link, say, on a website of yours, and you want to go ahead and generate the HTML code for it, that's already available for you down below. But if you were just using this, say, in an email newsletter, this would likely be the link that you were after. So you just copy this link and paste this into your email or wherever else you want to link to send traffic to this offer. Once you send traffic to that, again, anything under your affiliate link will get tracked for you, and any sales that you refer, you will get credit for. Now, when you're assigned into your account, if you go to reporting and then to analytics, you're going to reach the page that you see on my screen here. This allows you to track your stats. You can toggle between affiliate stats, so this would be your stats with your affiliate promotions, and then they have a separate area for stats with you as the vendor if you're selling products on this network. For affiliates though, it would just be over here on the left. You can see how, as I mentioned, I don't have any activity on this network, at least not any time recently. I do still have some vendor activity on the network, even though it's been many, many years since I listed a product for sale on this network. It still seems I get some kind of regular traffic from it. So this is the same type of information that you basically get to see as an affiliate. They show you quite a few different metrics also. The hop is basically anytime somebody clicks on your link. That's considered a hop. So that's like a link click. Earnings per hop would be your earnings per click. Hops per order is how many times you need how many clicks you need to generate one order. Now I also like that they do things like order form impression counts. When somebody clicks on the hop link, they're taken to the sales page. There's then going to be a payment button on that sales page that they would click on if they're interested in purchasing. That payment button will take them to an order form that they then have to complete with their payment information to actually complete the sale. Well, ClickBank actually tracks that order form, and so they can tell you how many of your clicks are actually making it to your order form. And then of all the people that are making it to your order form, how many of those people are actually completing the sale? They'll track things like initial sales, rebill sales would be for recurring subscriptions, upsells. They also track this kind of stuff on here. They'll even tell you refunds and chargebacks and that kind of stuff. So if you see that you have high refund and high chargeback rates, go back into the stats for your promotions and try to identify why. What promotion was it that you did that had really bad rates? Was it traffic that was coming from a particular source of yours? Was it your email traffic? Maybe it was your social media traffic that had, you know, high refund rates or something. So these stat and reporting pages can be useful not only to help you to gauge how your promotions are performing, so you can kind of fine-tune them for the future, but this can also be really useful for diagnosing problems with your promotions, especially when it comes to having a high refund or potentially a high chargeback rate. So this can be used to also help to protect your account in addition to simply help your promotions perform even better. So you don't have to use ClickBank once again, but if this is an affiliate network that you are interested in using, it is a potential option because they do have a lot of digital products out there on this network, especially those that are not in the marketing industry. And hopefully this particular training class has given you at least some of the important information that you're going to need to get started and also to be able to perform well long term on the ClickBank network.